Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to discuss about the latest AI agent release, which is the closest thing we have ever seen to AGI. It's called Manus AI. It was created by the Chinese company Monica, and it is better than OpenAI's deep research, operator, and cloud computer use all together. It is in fact so good, it's not even in public release yet. If we go to the website, we'll see Manus is a general AI agent that can perform most tasks that a real person can do with a computer, from research online to using tools to coding and generating reports. Manus outperforms every other agent on the Gaia benchmark, which evaluates general AI agents on three different difficulty levels. And we see that on the level 1, Manus performs a score of 86.5% compared to the almost 75% of OpenAI's deep research. And other than that, we see a 67%, 68% from other systems as well. And we see that on level 2, Manus still outperforms, although deep research in this case it's very closer. And on level 3 again, Manus outperforms OpenAI's deep research with a wide margin. Since its release 2 days ago, Twitter has been blown away by their demos, and there's a specific one I want to show you. It's this video where Manus is controlling 50 mobile screens. We see that it's logging into X in some phones, it's responding to messages, it's inside other apps, and it's been called by many the Inter that never sleeps. So let's dive into some of the most amazing demos shown to date. The first one we're going to see is an NVIDIA stock analysis dashboard. The user query here is create a dynamic dashboard that provides an analysis on NVIDIA stock using the latest static data. And it says the dashboard should display up-to-date stock price information, track prices, and assess risk factors based on the market and trends. This is an interesting one. It has some key factors and it kind of details how the dashboard should be. So if we run this from the beginning, from what we see here, Manus has access to a different computer, and we see that it can actually create files and edit files. And if we click here, we see that it has a to-do, which is the original plan task, and the other files is the code that actually generates in order to perform this query. If we open the to-do, we see it has created the to-do list, and we see the setup, the analysis, the dashboard, and the testing in the end. And I think we can view it. Nope, sorry, not here. So this is running, and it's creating the code, and basically it goes over its to-do list step by step, and we can see the progress in the right. And if we look at step by step, we can see it initializes the project, it creates the plan, here it created the to-do list. You can see it has a setup, analysis, dashboard, and testing at the end. It fetches stock data from a third-party API. We see that it creates an Next.js app for the dashboard. Creates some commands, updates the to-do list. You can see it edits the files, it runs the code. So this task is heavily code-based, and we see that and the analysis is performed in Python, as you can see here, in order to create the final data for the dashboard. So in a step here, we see that it encountered an error in the npm installation in a specific library. Although it tried a different approach, it continued, troubleshoot the error. It still had issues with the server, and it finally created the dashboard. And at this step, it was able to view all components work correctly. And at the end, it actually deployed the Next.js app, which is very interesting, and we haven't seen. Nope, not this one. We can see that it deployed the actual step. And the original URL deployed, it was a basic click counter for some reason, and the user corrected it with the screenshot, and it started again trying to fix this. So after a while, if we scroll to the bottom, they created a new one, and I think this is correct. Yeah, so it created this dashboard all by itself and hosted it. And we can actually, it's interactive also. We can, this is a daily and it goes up to March 6. I think this is for the 2025 only. So if we do weekly, now it goes even further behind, and monthly it goes up to 12. We see the price, we see some indicators. We see the risk tolerance. One thing that we don't see here is the risk level, and the user actually wrote about that in his prompt, and we don't see that one. Let's check the text here. So the user didn't actually correct that one, but I'm guessing yeah, so this was a missed point, and the user could actually correct it and say that it's not showing something in the risk assessment, and it would actually fix that. So this is pretty mind-blowing because not only it creates the code to get the data, it creates the code to analyze the data, it creates the dashboard, which is like a separate and completely separate code project. It creates the interactive dashboard, and like this is not really easy to do. Yeah, the final output is quite impressive on a single run. A second and quite different task is this one. The input query in this one is 4-day romantic break in Europe. So it says, help me plan a 4 days romantic break in Europe for 2 people during the next 2 months. Please include itinerary arrangements, accommodation, budget estimates, and a food guide, and generate a detailed travel handbook. Keep the budget at $1,000 maximum. Give me at least 5 options in different European countries, and a detailed list of itinerary, including prices for travel, accommodation, and places. Remember, accommodation can be hotel or Airbnb within the next 2 months. Choose the cheapest price to go and avoid UK school holidays. Okay, so this is more consumer style, and it actually requires a heavy research in order to complete this. So if we go here, we'll see it's starting. The first task was create a to-do list. Let's see its to-do list. What was it? So research phase, determine travel dates. So it starts with a date. Okay, 5 potential destinations. For each destination, perform these analysis and compilations, and this, I think this is the final table. It should be. So it starts searching for UK holidays through April and May, cheapest flights from UK, and we see here it goes tries the Google, Kayak, Skyscanner, British Airways. Basically, it finds like every website that we would search for flights. What did it do here? So it continues, and okay, this was step 1. Romantic budget destinations. So let's see the 5 options that it generated. It is number 1, it's Prague. Number 2, it's Budapest, Lisbon, Krakow, and Venice in Italy. Okay, interesting. It avoided the big places. It avoided like the big cities like Paris and Milan, and I think this might have something to do with the budget restriction, which would be like almost impossible in those places. And if we scroll down, we can actually see, it will take some time to complete. It's searching flights for every destination separately, as you can see here. Searching hotels and Airbnb again. So we see TripAdvisor, Expedia, Kayak again, Booking.com. Yeah, so basically like every website available that you would search for. So in this step, it finds accommodations. So let's check about romantic activities, and think it was where it was. Yeah, here. So again, the big websites. It sells Reddit as well. And if we scroll down a little bit, I want to see. So it has it to do. Let's see the files once again. Does it have a compilation? Not yet. So after the analysis, it provides budget estimates for each destination separately, and it kind of gives like a reason to go there in everyone. So best overall value, it found Budapest, fairy tale atmosphere with Gothic architecture, but Prague, most affordable in Poland, warmer weather in Portugal, and exceeds budget but included for comparison for Venice, Italy, and yeah, it makes sense. The final kind of report that it generated, and we see it shows April 22, 25, between 22 and 25. It's the date, and we see a weather analysis here. Okay, that's pretty detailed with precipitation and sunshine hours, which is like important when you go traveling. It found the school holidays to avoid, cost effectiveness, and also included the weekday for cost effectiveness. And this has to do both for the hotels and flights. It evaluated its place on a romance factor. Okay, number 1 Venice, I believe that. Number 5 Krakow, yeah, not sure about that. It has detailed flights. Okay, it has found specific flights. So we see Wizz Air, EasyJet, Ryanair, which are the cheap European flight services correctly. Yeah, so this is like mind-blowing. Typically, when you want to travel as a couple, this takes hours. Doing research for one destination in this kind of detail takes like hours for travel, for hotels, for activities doing there, for food. And okay, this is pretty detailed with photos from every place. Okay, I see here an image that's not, it's got an error, something with the image here. Okay, this is like extremely detailed and actually mind-blowing. And these kind of use cases are way more common in consumer than like the NVIDIA stock analysis one. So let's see about the next demo. Let's check a highly technical one. This is designing room temperature superconductors via simulations. Okay, I am pretty clueless about superconductors and like everything around them. I only know they're the holy grail of physics or something like that. So we see that it researches heavily academic papers here, and like the physics.org. We will scroll down. So I want to see it performs heavy research. I don't see some kind of coding here. Yeah, what is this computational workflow? I think this might be the final one. So if we skip the results. Okay, let's go to the final report to check it out. And we have a summary here, introduction, background. It has some theory as well. That's interesting, computational approach. And it lists 5 different ways to kind of simulate the design. And it has some screening criteria. Okay, I'm not sure about like what are these ones. I think this goes way deep into physics and out of my knowledge base. Advance, and okay, this was a typical report. Okay, so I see that there are some scripts, but it seems to be pretty detailed. And I mean, its plan is environment setup, material screening, and I think material screening refers to, because like one of the most important tasks in superconductors is the material that you're going to build it with. I think there are like 3 or 4 good candidates for materials. That's why evaluating the right material, it seems to be like a big result, a big concern here. It did perform an analysis, but we didn't actually. I want to see results. Yeah, our initial screening based on conventional BCS theory yielded no candidate materials from the Jarvis database. I think this says that it didn't work. 3.2 alternative approaches. Our pivot to alternative approaches yielded significantly more promising results. 3,500 hydride materials, not sure what those are. 43,000 materials. Okay, does it have? I'm not sure what the end result, like, I mean, even the wanted end result here would be, but it seems to be like a great starting point for some kind of analysis. And these tasks are like mostly done by PhD students, and like researchers in universities take hours. I mean, in best case, and days in more user. So let's go to another demo. We have two more here. So let's go to this one. And this says largest real estate brokerages in major metro areas. And the user query here wants to kind of find information about real estate brokerages. I think it says about US, not sure. To list number of agents, total number of transactions, total revenue, average commission per site, identify top 10 metropolitan areas. Yeah, and this is also a research heavy task. We see basically goes like to every possible website. Let's see its to-do list. It has preparation, identify top 10 inside the US. Okay, create a research structure for each metro. And we have New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Dallas, Houston. All these are like big metro cities. Let's go to the result. It also hosted this report as well. And I think if we go to the page, yeah, it kind of created also a web page and hosted as the first demo. So we see key findings. New York leads. Okay, in Miami and Dallas are more top performance. Commission rate range from 4.8 to 6%. Isn't that super high? It seems high for some reason. 8 of the 10 metro areas are sellers market. Interesting. With only Houston and Miami being buyers market. I think these kind of queries might be very helpful. And I saw some other demos that included like find me a place to rent or a place to buy in a specific city with these limitations like budget and location, that stuff. Yeah, so it lists tasks. We see that when they don't have data, they actually showcase. So it's also pretty detailed for this task. And these kind of reports, I mean, I was working on Ernst & Young. This kind of heavily information-based reports, they sell them for like thousands of dollars because they take a lot of human hours to perform. But in this case, it was done in super fast. And one thing that we didn't say is Manus can control actually up to 50 pages at the same time in order to kind of speed up the operations. And see, we have one final demo here, and this is also fairly technical, and it's like my favorite. Okay, it's my favorite one. Okay, integrating LLMs with robotic. So this is about doing robotic LLMs on robots, and it's also heavily research based. And if we skip to the end, not wait for this, we see that it lists all the different tables, models here, and methods of how to do it. And consistency analysis here, we see that it shows. And this kind of reports can actually get, like, if you want to learn about a new subject or and we see its conclusion is the design of integrating symbolic reasoning models, capabilities with LLMs, with robotic RL is complete, aligned with the regional requirements. Has the framework, the design successfully leverages complementary strengths. Okay, yeah, and I mean, these are like mostly highly technical for research stuff. If we go to the page here, they have some demos. So they show, like, I think it's here. So they categorize some of the stocks. So it has like research based. We see like B2B supplier sourcing and like list of YC companies, perform analysis, education is a big one. And yeah, I mean, all homework I think is for every student in the world is kind of like cooked now. Everything will be performed by these kind of tools. In productivity, we see, and this was like a big one, screening resumes for like engineers. And in this demo, the user uploaded like 25 resumes, and this system kind of evaluate everyone. And like this is actually, let me open this one. And this is like a huge task because we see like the user uploaded as a zip file, because we know that like HR managers typically spend like a few seconds on the first screen of each resume, and they actually can miss a lot of great resumes. But doing it this way, yeah, it's way better. And let's skip to the end. So the output is in CSV file, have the names, you can actually download the file. So we have education, years of experience, RL experience specifically, skills, project summary, project experience summary. Okay, interesting. RL projects, they have the key achievements. Okay, this is like huge. It should be like a huge filter, this column here. Yeah, and it performs actually a heavily detailed research. Let me check the initial query. So it was carefully read. Yeah, and we see like it performed like a very well research analysis. And in the column, we see interactive gaming. So there was one case that it was kind of mind-blowing, and it was create, let me replay this, it was create a Super Mario game. And again, it hosted this game, and this is like a heavily code-based task with not much research. And if we go, let's skip to the end, posted it somewhere, so it is, nope, it's here, visit the space. And the game here, you can see it's actually, it's playable. So you can actually die if you go down. You can actually die. Yeah, it's not like a complete game, but so we see we have 3 lives. If we fly to the end, so it's kind of finished. This is also mind-blowing. Okay, so these were the demos. It's in early release yet, and in order to access it, you need to have an invitation code, and they're like pretty rare at the moment. If you want to access it earlier than others, you can go to their Discord page, and they usually release some codes here. They did them yesterday at the morning, but as you can see, they get used pretty quickly, and it has like 8,500 users, their Discord channel. But they have said that they're going to be releasing some codes here as well. Yeah, so we're waiting for the release. Other than that, you can sign up for their waitlist with your email, and they're going to ask you about what you want to use it for. So I'm guessing they will prioritize use cases they find more interesting. And when we actually get access on this, we'll do a much deeper dive and actually perform tasks, and we're going to test it on real projects that we take on. So this was today's video. The early sentiment on Manus is it is the closest thing to AGI we have ever seen, and everybody is waiting to get their hands on it and give it a try. Once we know more, we're going to upload more videos. Now, if you're watching this video and you own a business or a startup and you're looking for a partner to build your next AI project, click the link in the description to book a one-on-one consultation with me. All of the video resources and templates will be hosted in the link in the video description below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.